Catch the wave. You're listening to Wave Radio, your home for uplifting gospel music.
How's everybody doing today? You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown, and today is Build a Brand Wednesday. Yes, it's going to be excited. It is going to be a game changer, a mind changer, and a heart changer. Today, we are talking about lead the whole distance from Geba to Gezer. Yes, man, if you understand that story of David when he fought that battle, you will understand what I mean to lead the whole distance. You're not just called to start strong, you're called to finish strong. Let's lock in for wisdom, faith, and leadership and insight to build what God has called you to build. You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Join us on this heavenly journey, one song at a time, Wave Radio.
You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. This is Build a Brand Wednesday, and I want to thank you for joining me. Today, we are talking about leading the whole distance, and I'm building from 2 Samuel verse 5:25, and you have to read whole 2 Samuel to get the full context. But the verse said, "And David did so as the Lord had commanded him, and he smote the Philistines from Geba until thou come to Gezer." Man, this is huge right here, because what this is saying, David's victory wasn't just about fighting battles. It was about leading campaigns across 18 to 20 miles of terrain from hill country to lowland. Man, to fight that battle and to lead that army and to go across these terrains from 18 to 20 miles, it required obedience, strategy, endurance, and system management to secure the full victory. And what I'm saying to you all, you're trying to build something, you're trying to create something, you're trying to manage something, but it's more than just the end game. It's all about being able to lead the full distance. It's all about being able to read the room, read the environment, read the atmosphere. So today we're going to talk about leading the whole distance here on Build a Brand Wednesday. So tell somebody, have somebody call in and say, hey, I need you to be here because your brand is so important. Your brand is so valuable. I need you to get this information that Demetrius L. Brown is showing. And guess what? We're going to lead the whole way.
You're riding the waves of faith and grace on Wave Radio.
You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown, and we are talking about lead the whole distance. Yes. What I mean by lead the whole distance, we must focus on sustained leadership. What is sustained leadership? That means you have to be obedience. You have to have stamina. You have to have systems in place. Your mindset must be right. Emotional discipline and your cadence must be right while you're building your brand and fulfilling God's assignment. And my scripture I came from was 2 Samuel 5, verse 25. And this was when David defeated the Philistines. And that journey, that battle was like 18 to 20 miles because he went from Geba to Gezer. And that was 18 to 20 miles. And he defeated the Philistines within that 18 to 20 miles. And across this 18 to 20 miles, what was significant to me, and I think will be significant to you as you build your brand, as you fight these battles, as being an entrepreneur or whatever it is, you're building something. This 18 to 20 miles, the terrain changed. It went from hill country to lowland. He had some smooth areas, but guess what? David stayed the distance till he won the battle. Regardless if he had mountains, he had rocky areas, whatever the area was. And even when he had smooth areas, he didn't get so excited and got distracted because he was like, oh, now this is easy. No, sometimes we can get distracted on easy. But I want to say this. Leadership is more than starting well. Many people start with energy, but lack the strategy for distance. Listen to what I'm saying. Many people start well, but lack the strategy for distance. Brand building isn't about hype at the launch. It's about the endurance through the process. And I know we get excited when we launch our brands. Ooh, I'm launching my business. I got my LLC. I got my S Corp. Ooh, I sold my first K. That's good. Have that energy. but you must have endurance through the process. The process is where it get heavy, it get hard, and sometimes it might be easy, but you have to be prepared for those hard times when you're building a brand, you're building a business, when you're trying to sustain something. So brand building isn't about the hype at the launch. It's about the endurance through the process. Starting strong is good, but finishing strong is kingdom. Hey, you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Stay tuned and stay blessed here on Wave Radio.
You're listening to Build a Brand Wednesday here on the Afternoon Praise on Wave Radio. I want to thank you again for joining me on this Hump Day Wednesday. Hold on, that's what you call it. You call it Hump Day. I'm calling it Build a Brand Wednesday because guess what? We're building something that will just go through that hump. We go over that hump smoothly, and we're just happy because we're excited about the process. We're excited about finishing strong. And today we're talking about leading the distance, regardless of what it looked like, regardless what hills you come across, regardless what circumstances hit you, what come in your way that make you have to just stop and pause. Guess what? No, keep going. That's part of the process. You got to lead the distance. See, endurance over excitement is what get us to the end. And again, I'm not saying don't be excited, but you got to have endurance because when you're going through those bad times, those rocky times, when you can't make payroll or you can't pay yourself or you can't buy a product or whatever that is, that excitement is gone. But if you have endurance, you will be like, God, you got this. I know I'm yours. You told me that this is the business I should start. You will speak word back into that situation, and that endurance will get you through when the excitement is dead, gone. So God isn't ignoring you. He's building your endurance. You pray for next level influence, but you don't have next level stamina. Listen to what I'm saying. That's why excitement must not be your fuel. You must have the endurance because you need stamina for the next level. So this level stamina isn't good for the next level stamina. See, you got to be careful for what you pray to God for because you got to prepare for what you're praying for. You got to walk in faith and believe in what you're praying for. So you pray for next level influence, but you don't have that next level stamina. See, this journey is more than a spirit. It's a leadership marathon. I'm sorry. This journey is more than a sprint. It's a leadership marathon. Are you prepared to manage the weight of what you're asking for? Think about that. Are you prepared to handle the weight of what you're asking for? If you're a person that gets so emotional, you get in your feelings when things don't go your way, people say something they say something out of the way, guess what? You need to work on you. You need to work on the endurance because once that excitement is gone, that excitement is dead, you're going to quit. You're going to quit. But you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown. Remember this, the journey is more than a sprint. It's a leadership marathon. And I want you to ask yourself this. Are you prepared to manage the weight of what you're asking for? It's the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Stay tuned and stay blessed here on Wave Radio.
You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown, and this is Build a Brand Wednesday, and we are talking about leading the whole distance. What do you mean, sir, about leading the whole distance? Well, I'm glad you asked. What I mean by leading the whole distance, I mean you have to be ready to lead when you're up, when you're down, when you're in the middle, when things seem like they're stopped, when you seem like you're not hearing from God. You still got to lead during the process. You got to lead the distance. And see, David, let's talk about David. We're talking about the battle when he defeated the Philistines. So David's victory wasn't won on raw energy alone. David had business applications, business build systems, not just hype. Well, what do you mean? There weren't no businesses back then. Yes, it was. It was business back then. But David had army structure. He had supply lines, communication flow, and moral management. See, do you think that battle, his journey, the battle that was 18 to 20 miles, he had everything. No, he didn't have everything. They had to be able to replenish. They had to be able to give the men rest. They had to be able to bring in more bows and arrows and different weapons. They had to be able to bring in food. He had to have his soldiers in place, his leaders. He had a system. But the first thing, though, he had God. He made God the foundation of that battle because he asked God, what should I do? Should I go? And God said, go. So the first thing he did was he had permission from God. But once we get this permission from God, you got to put some systems in place. You got to put structure in place. You got to ask yourself, okay, if I am a cosmetologist, what do I need? I need product. I need marketing. I need a booth. I need this. I need that. So looking at it, hey, God, how do I go about running my business? How do I go about getting to the next level? Then once God speaks to you, now you start putting your systems in place. You can't run a business or build a brand. I'm not even talking about yourself without having those systems in play. So listen to what I'm saying. If your organization crumbles without you physically showing up every day, you don't have a brand. You have a burned out project. Listen to what I'm saying. If your organization crumbles without you physically showing up every day, you don't have a brand. You have a burned out project. And I'm not just talking about businesses. I'm talking about you as the brand, because you represent you when you even go out. So if you're taking interviews and people reading your resumes and it's not, you're not present in your resume, you're not present on your social media. I'm talking about you, who God called you to be. If people don't see and say, I want to call this person right here, because they are physically present in everything that they do. So again, I'm saying this, and I say this with love. If your organization crumbles without you physically showing up every day, you don't have a brand. You have a burned out project. And you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Bringing the sounds of heaven 24/7, Wave Radio.
You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown. And today is Build a Brand Wednesday, and we're talking about lead the whole distance. Leading the whole distance. What that mean? That means you have to be prepared. You have to have systems in place. You have to be able to endure whatever's coming your way while you are leading, while you are operating what you asked God for and you believe God gave you. But let's talk about this. Obedience over options. See, David didn't negotiate with God's instructions. He followed them. And in this next season, practical obedience equals practical breakthroughs. You can't cherry pick what you like and expect full favor. Execute the full instruction, even the uncomfortable parts. And what am I talking about? If you go to 2 Samuel 5, and it said, on verse 22, starting verse 22, it said, and the Philistines came up yet again and spread themselves in the valley of Rephaim. And when David inquired of the Lord, he said, thou shalt not go up, but fetch a compass behind them and come upon them over against the mulberry trees. And let it be, when thou hearest the sound of a going in the tops of the mulberry trees, that then thou shalt be stirred thyself. For thy shall the Lord go out before thee and smite the host of the Philistines. And David did so as the Lord had commanded him, and smote the Philistines from Geba unto Gezer. Man, so he listened to what the Lord said. The Lord gave him instructions. He asked God, and David was obedient. See, we have to be obedient because God is going before us. God has already laid this thing out. So we're not being obedient. That means we're walking outside of the will of God, and we're walking outside of what God has already put in play. So we're not walking in his provisions. So you have to be obedient. Stop doing partial obedience, because again, you're not even going to get a partial breakthrough. You're not even going to get the breakthrough. You keep cherry picking what you want to do, you're not going to get what God wants for you. So I'm telling you this today. Execute the full instructions of God, even if they're uncomfortable. Hey, you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Catch the wave. You're listening to Wave Radio, your home for uplifting gospel music.
You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown, and this is Build a Brand Wednesday. And we're talking about lead the whole distance. Now, let's look at this. Some of us call ourselves bosses, CEOs, and whatever we want to put ourselves on this big level here. But we don't lead that way. We lead like we're regular employees. And again, I'm not speaking against the employees, but I'm speaking against the titles and positions. So if your position is an employee, your position is management, you should lead like management. You shouldn't lead like the employee. See, we should lead like a king, not react like a soldier. See, soldiers react, kings strategize. Listen to what I'm saying. Soldiers react, kings strategize. CEOs strategize. Management, they strategize. They don't react. They strategize, and they have a plan to shift. Because when most people react, they react from feelings. But if something is not going the way it's supposed to, guess what? You strategize. You already have a plan. You foresaw this. See, David foresaw everything when he was going into battle with the Philistines. So as a manager, a boss, as a brand, you must see ahead. You must have that vision, and you must be a strategist. See, are you putting out fires every day, or are you building systems for the whole territory? Kings think legacy. Soldiers think survival. Shift your leadership posture from daily crisis management to long-term vision execution. Stop putting plans together for right now, this moment. No, you must put a system together. Systems is a bunch of plans, a bunch of strategies, a bunch of things you put in place so that you can shift. You know how to navigate. Your team know how to navigate. The communications in play. So all my CEOs, all my entrepreneurs, even just the brand. If you're just a person and you don't even want to build nothing, you have to start thinking as a strategist for your life. Because guess what? You go through things personal, health problems, financial problems. But if you put a strategy together to get you through those times, now you start to think like a king. You know, and when I say king, we're not talking about gender. I'm talking about position. OK, so women, you think I'm talking about you, too. Because y'all are heads too. Y'all are heads of what y'all are doing. Y'all are running things. I mean, there's a lot of women CEOs out here. And I don't believe you just got there by acting like an employee. I believe you got there by strategizing. So listen to what I'm saying. Stop reacting like a soldier and start strategizing like a king. If you are putting out fires every day or building systems for the whole territory, kings think legacy. Soldiers think survival. Yeah, we got to survive. But guess what? When we're thinking legacy, we're building systems. Those systems kick in place so that now survival will take place, that we're not on that moment of survival. But systems will kick in place when it's time to go in survival mode. So now we're not just stuck right here, or we lost, or we didn't know, oh man, I didn't know this was going to happen. But strategy, you should have kind of predicted, oh, well, this can happen. So let's put this in place just in case it does happen. It might not happen, but you got something in place. Shift your leadership posture from daily crisis management to long-term vision execution. Hey, you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
You're riding the waves of faith and grace on Wave Radio.
You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. This is Build a Brand Wednesday here on Wave Radio, and we are talking today about leading the whole distance. I don't care if you hit a rocky road, a bumpy road, you hit a mountain in front of you, you still got to lead the whole distance. If you believe God called you to defeat something, if you believe God called you to build something, if you believe God told you to do something, you must lead that whole distance until you get to where God has promised you and told you where you need to be. You must, if you're trying to defeat the Philistines like David, you got to lead those 18 to 20 miles that we talked about, that battle was in 2 Samuel 5:23. You got to lead the whole way, regardless what it looks like, regardless what the terrain is, regardless what it is. You have to lead. And we must think strategic. Stop living for the moment. Stop putting together burnout projects. If your business or if your household can't run without you, you just putting together burned out projects. You don't have a brand. But let's look at this. Let me give you a practical brand tip. Map your flow and master your cadence. One thing I've learned, I'm the campus director at Mount Zion RDU. We are one church in 3 locations, and Bishop Ketchens, our executive pastor, he talks about cadence. He's like, man, that's the first thing he taught me. You got to pay attention to the cadence of our lead pastor, Bishop Pierce. He said, you got to pay attention. You got to know when he want to say something, how he's going to say it. You got to look at his looks. You got to know, because he has a cadence, and you have to know your leader's cadence. And what I'm saying is everybody must have a cadence. Everybody. Every great brand runs on flow and cadence. What is flow? How your brand move from vision, planning, execution, feedback, and refinement. What is cadence? The rhythm your team feels daily, weekly, and monthly. See, cadence is a rhythm. And if you're going to be successful, you must put a rhythm together. Your brand must have a rhythm. It must have a flow. And that rhythm, that cadence, people should be able to see. They should be able to say, okay, hold on. I know how he operates. I know how he navigates. I know I can't do this. I'm not going to try this because I can't get away with this, because this isn't his cadence. This isn't his flow. This isn't his rhythm. So people should be able to see that in you also too. So this is Build a Brand Wednesday. And if you're building a brand, map your flow out, master your cadence. All right. See, great leaders also learn the cadence of their people. So if you're managing somebody, understand their cadence. If you're a family, if you're just a person and you got a family at home, understand the cadence of your husband, your kids. I'm not saying you have to adapt to them, but understanding their cadence will help you say, okay, how do I navigate? How do I communicate? Because I want my household this way, but I see their cadence is this. But God, how do I communicate so that our cadences match up? Or whatever it is. See, some people need speed. Others need clarity. Some need encouragement. When you honor the flow and the cadence, you create unstoppable momentum. Yes, you do. And you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Stay tuned and stay blessed here on Wave Radio.
You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown, and this is Build a Brand Wednesday. Let me tell you something. Get out your feelings. Get out your feelings. Everybody, we are in our feelings. And I'm there sometimes too. But we cannot lead from our feelings. We cannot lead the distance in our feelings. Because guess what? We're going to say some things. We're going to quit. We're going to do things that's outside of the will of God, that don't line up with God want us to do. Because when we get emotional, we get in our feelings, we don't think things out. We don't pray. Well, they know me. They know my heart. God know my heart. I'm going to say what I want to say. No, what you saying might even be right, but it might not be the moment for you to say that. So we got to get out of our feelings. Real talk. Your next level won't unlock because of mood swings. Yes, I'm telling you this. Your next level won't unlock because of mood swings. You can't build a brand based on how you feel today. Hurt feelings don't cancel your assignment. Disappointments doesn't end this destiny. Offense doesn't delay God's plan. Disobedience does. Let me say this again. You can't build a brand based on how you feel today. Hurt feelings don't cancel your assignment. Disappointment doesn't end destiny. Offense doesn't delay God's plan. Disobedience does. This is the season to pray it out, process it out, but keep executing. Get out of your feelings and back into your calling. Yes, I'm saying this. I have to execute this every day. I have to get out of my feelings and get back to my calling every day. And I'm just being honest. See, this isn't punishment. It's preparation. Everything is not going to go the way we want to go, but we got to get out of our feelings. Get out of our feelings. This is the season. I'm telling you, you cannot afford to be in your feelings. So this season, I need for you to what? Pray it out, process it out, keep executing. Get out of your feelings, people. Hey, you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Catch the wave. You're listening to Wave Radio, your home for uplifting gospel music.
You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown, and this is Build a Brand Wednesday, and we are talking about leading the distance. We're talking from the point of David, when David defeated the Philistines in 2 Samuel in chapter 5, and we're talking in verse 25, from 22 on down, when God gave David the assignment, how to carry out the assignment to defeat the Philistines. And it was in a distance that it was 18 to 20 miles. And if you do the research, that terrain, it went from rocky to bumpy to, you had some grasslands, you had some, some smooth, you had some everything. But David listened to God, and he led the distance. He led the distance through the process, through the soldiers getting tired, through the hungry times, through the cold, through the hot nights, hot days. He continued to lead. He didn't get in his feelings. He led like a leader. He didn't start thinking like the soldiers, complaining. No, he led like a leader. He strategized. He strategized like a leader. So he wasn't complaining and having the conversations with his soldiers. Yeah, man, this could be a little bit better, man. Oh, man, why did God do me like that, man? Or, some of y'all managers have conversations with the employees like, man, this business can be ran a little bit better. I don't know why. Nah. Man, you're the manager. You don't sit back and have these conversations with employees. You listen to them. You take in what they're saying, and then you go back as the manager and you put a plan together. You strategize. And if you got someone over you, you present that plan to them. It's like, hey, this is what I heard from the employees. This is what I think we should do because I'm right here on the ground with them. What do you think? See, the season is over from having these emotional, defeated conversations with people that you lead. That's crazy. I never got that. But that's why we're talking about mindsets matter. Mindset matter, man. Your mindset matter. If you can't think strategically, and if you can't think like a head, and you always on the level with the employees, putting yourself there just because you want to be liked, you need to get out of that position. You need to rethink what you're doing. But I'm gonna tell you, mindsets matter. Educate yourself, stay coachable, and don't lead with emotions. See, mindset is your multiplier. Are you reading? Are you learning? Are you open to feedback? A lot of us ain't coachable. A lot of us don't like feedback. Oh, man, what are you talking about? He ain't doing what I'm doing. He can't tell me. But yeah, this man built 2 multi-million-dollar businesses, 2 multi-million-dollar companies. And you saying what? just because it's not what you want to hear, because you're so caught up in your baby. Oh, this is my baby right here. I'm going to do it this way. I don't want to listen to nobody else. That's why you and your baby is still broke. You don't have no business. Nobody's buying your products. Nobody's using your service because you don't want to listen to someone who's already done this. It might not be in the same field, but they build businesses. They have been where you are today. So you have to be coachable. Change your mindset, okay? Change your mindset. But I want to go here. What are you reading? What are you reading? Are you reading anything that's equivalent to the area of business that you're in? Are you just on social media? I'm gonna scroll through social media and see what people do. No, read some sales books. Read some books that talk about emotional distress, emotional inventory, that talks about psychological spending, psychological buying. Read books like that, because guess what? I don't care what product or service you have a business and people have to buy your services or product. So you have to understand this. Outside of your product and your service, you have to understand how people buy, how people shop, how people navigate. So if you're not reading anything, and if you're not taking advice from anybody out here, if you're not learning, you're already lost. You already lost the battle. You're already defeated, and you're not going to make it the distance. I promise you're not going to make it the distance. So I'm saying this: change your mindset, educate yourself, stay coachable, and don't lead with emotions. And you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Join us on this heavenly journey, one song at a time, Wave Radio.
You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. This is Build a Brand Wednesday, and I hope that you are over your hump. I hope this helped you get over your hump on this Wednesday. But hey, stop calling it Hump Day Wednesday. I want you to start calling this Build a Brand Wednesday. Man, let's make this the icon saying. No, everybody, oh man, it's Hump Day Wednesday. No. It ain't Hump Day Wednesday. It's Build a Brand Wednesday. I know everybody want to get over the midweek and all that stuff. No, guess what? We gonna take the attitude, yeah, this is Wednesday, but we gonna keep building. We going to lead the distance. And when Wednesday here, we're going to keep going strong. But I need for my leaders to check in. I need for you to check in. And when I'm saying leaders, I'm not just talking about entrepreneurs, business owners. I'm talking about leaders in the house. I need for you to check in. I need you to energize your team. See, David couldn't do it alone. Neither can you. David never won battles alone. Are your people resourced? Are your family resourced? Are they inspired? Are your employees, are your people inspired? Are your family inspired? Do they feel the vision? Do your family feel the vision? See, this thing just doesn't work in entrepreneurship. It just don't work in business. It work in your household. It work in your family too. Because I told you, you are the brand first, and everything you do is a product of you. But I need my leaders in every area of your life to check in. If you're an entrepreneur, you're just a family person, whatever. I need you to go energize your team today. Go energize your household today. Do your people have resource? Are your people resourced? Do they have what they need? And of course, I know we hit things when we might not have enough money. We might not have this. But guess what? Do they have the strategy? Do they have what they need spiritually and mentally to get through this? Are they inspired? Even during bad times, rough times, are your family saying, I know we got this. We got this. We done been through this before. He done let us out of here, or she done let us out of here. I know we got this. Or at the business, oh man, I know business is slow, but I know we can bounce through this because we got a leader. We got a CEO who can lead us through this right here. We've seen it before, and I know we'll see it again. Do they feel the vision? Do your household see the vision? Do they see the vision? Do you have a family vision? Do you have a vision for your family? Do they see it? Or do you have a vision for your business? Or are you just moving along? Hey man, I hope you get some sales today. Hey, bring somebody. No, what's the vision? What's the benefit of the people who are buying your product or service? So go energize your team today. Before you demand, my mouth just a little bit. Before you demand productivity, check moral, clarity, and capacity. I'm gonna say that again. Before you demand productivity, check moral, clarity, and capacity. Hey, you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Join us on this heavenly journey, one song at a time, Wave Radio.
You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown. Hey, I want to thank you for joining me on this Build Up Brand Wednesday. Yes, that's a lot of words to say, but guess what? I enjoy saying them. This is Build a Brand Wednesday, and we're talking about lead the distance. And we got to have spiritual fuel if we're going to lead the distance. See, the power of sustained obedience, God's blesses consistency in obedience. Listen to what I'm saying. God blesses consistency in obedience. This season requires you to stay in position until God releases you to shift. Stay still, stay in position and work what you have right there. Stop looking at what other people have. Stop looking and say, oh man, I can do this. Oh, I can do this. No, God got you here. So stay obedient and stay in place till God shifts you. See, this season requires you to stay in position until God releases you to shift. Your breakthrough is often on the other side of consistency. Don't flinch. Don't flinch. I know somebody throw something at you. Now somebody might come at you with the throw them. Don't flinch. Don't flinch. Stay consistent and stay in position. Hey, you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
You're riding the waves of faith and grace on Wave Radio.
You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown. And I want you all to build for distance, not just launch. When you're planning or you're replanning, you're repositioning your business, don't build for launch or relaunch or reset or this. No, build for the distance. Stop building for applause. Yes, we know people launch things for the applause. Yeah. They launched this. No, don't do that. Because guess what? Once people see what you really got, which is flawed, the applause are going to stop and the talking about you is going to start. So I need for you to just focus. Stop telling people what you're doing until it's done. Let them see it. Stop wanting to get verification or verified by people. Stop trying to get the pat on the back. Stop trying to make people accept you because of what you got or what you can do. Because now you are prematurely doing things just to get the applause or get people's attentions, to get people's approval, and you did not build for the distance. You didn't put a solid plan together, a solid product, a solid service together. See, the brand isn't just about today's sales. It's about impact 1 year from now, 5 years from now. Plan with stability. Forget those other people. They might support you, might not support you, but don't build according to who's going to support you. Build how God called you to build. Build for the distance. You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Stay tuned and stay blessed here on Wave Radio.
You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown. And as we are talking about leading the distance, we also have to know, where are we losing momentum? Yes, where are we losing momentum? At some point in our leadership and our lives, we lose momentum. If we decide not to recognize it, that don't mean we're not losing momentum. You know when you're losing momentum, but you just got to sit back and back up and say, okay, where am I losing momentum? Where does your energy consistently drop? After launching, during production, after receiving criticism? Where does it? As a business owner, you know, we're excited, man, with the launch. Oh, we about to launch. Yeah. Then we launch. We get about a couple of sales. Boom. The momentum drop. Our energy drop. doing the production part of it. Oh, we get back to making the stuff. Oh man, this is where I belong. Ooh, I love making it. Boom, we make it and we ain't getting no sales. Man, the energy drop. Then we get criticism. Oh man. Then the energy get up, but that's the wrong energy when we get criticized. After receiving criticism, woo boy, our energy go up, but it's the wrong energy. But I need us to be faithful to ourselves, and I need for us to continue to talk to God and allow God to show us where we are losing momentum. And we have to be honest with ourselves to say, okay, hey, this is where I'm at. Man, I don't have the energy here. Why I don't have the energy here, I don't know, but I'm gonna go to God. God showed me. But if you're going to lead the distance and going to build something great, you got to be able to recognize where you are losing the momentum, where you are losing the energy, or you are gaining negative energy. All right. So don't let inconsistency kill your calling. All right. Identify your weak points, then build strategy to strengthen them. You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Bringing the sounds of heaven 24/7 Wave Radio.
You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown, and this is Build a Brand Wednesday. See, kingdom assignment, manage your systems. David didn't just manage people, he managed systems. To go to war and to be a king, you have different areas in your kingdom. You have different areas in your army. You have different areas in every area of your kingdom. See, David didn't just manage people, he managed systems. See, as a business owner, I have a marketing system, sales system, communication system, customer care system, content creation system. Man, it's a lot of systems, and a lot of you all got the same things because I talk to you all. You all are building your brand. You're building your businesses. Even your household, you got to put systems in place so that your household can move smoothly, so that your household can operate smoothly. So if you're a business owner, stop looking at one area. You got to look at all areas, and you have to put a system in place so that now you can manage each area and you can see your KOI on each area. You can see the return on each area. Oh, this area worked good. This area, oh, we need to shift this. We need to shift that. Manage your systems. If you're going to lead the distance and you're going to come out successful, you got to have systems in place, and you must manage these systems. Hey, you're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Catch the wave. You're listening to Wave Radio, your home for uplifting gospel music.
You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown, and this is Build a Brand Wednesday. And you know, I always have a declaration for each day. Yes. So today's declaration for Build a Brand Wednesday, leading the distance, I will lead the full distance. Let's declare this right here, y'all. God, I will not fumble mid-assignment. I will not stall in the middle miles. I will finish strong with faith, focus, fruitfulness. Every part of my brand and my team will align with your will. I will lead from Geba to Gezer. Great start to a great finish. You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. I'm your host, Demetrius L. Brown.
Join us on this heavenly journey, one song at a time, Wave Radio.
You're listening to the Afternoon Praise. My time is up. It's been great. It's been lovely. Man, this Build a Brand Wednesday, it built me up. It has excited me. It has made me to go back and say, I need to think about some things. And again, I tell you, every time God puts something on my heart, I teach it. I always have to go back and be like, wow, I ain't think about that. I need to go do this. So I want you to take today's episode of Build a Brand Wednesday, leading the distance, and go back and listen to it. Go back and listen to it. If you didn't catch the show, you can go on my YouTube channel, or you can go to waveradio.com. That's WAYVVE.com. So this has been Build a Brand Wednesday on Afternoon Praise. You're not just called to start now. You are called to finish strong. You are not just called to launch. You are called to sustain. You are not just called to build. You are called to lead. Now, Go build like it. Hey, from Geba to Gezer, full distant leadership. We'll see you tomorrow for Thrive Thursday here on the Afternoon Praise. I love you. Peace.
Join us on this heavenly journey, one song at a time, Wave Radio.